When I was in 6th or 7th standard, I wrote a slogan that made me feel unusually proud. Save ozone, let life go on. It was written with a sketch pen on a chart paper, probably for a school exhibition, surrounded by half-peeled tape and shaky handwriting. Back then, I didn't fully understand ozone, UV rays, or global treaties. But I clearly remember one thing: everyone was scared. Teachers talked about it, newspapers talked about it, adults talked about it. The sky itself felt fragile. And today, years later, something strange has happened. We stopped talking about ozone, not because it got worse, but because it actually got better. And that silence is the most important part of this story. In the late 90s and early 2000s, ozone was not an abstract concept. It was a threat that felt personal. We were told that if ozone layer disappeared, skin cancer would rise, crops would fail, and life as we knew it would burn under the sun. School textbooks showed scary diagrams. TV news spoke about the growing hole over Antarctica. Even deodorant cans were suddenly villains, and for once, this was not just an environmental issue, it was a human survival issue. That's why a 12-year-old could write a slogan like that and feel proud, because the fear was real and the message felt urgent. Then something very rare happened in the human history. Countries didn't argue endlessly, corporations didn't deny science for decades, politicians didn't postpone the action forever. In 1987, the world signed the Montreal Protocol, a global agreement to phase out the ozone-depleting substances like CFCs. Rich countries acted first. Poor countries were supported financially. Industries were forced to innovate. Products were redesigned. And slowly, silently, the damage began to reverse. No viral hashtags, no daily breaking news, just consistent, boring global cooperation. Today, scientists say the ozone layer is healing. If the current commitments continue, it could return to the pre-1918 levels within this century. That means the biggest environmental threat of my childhood didn't disappear because we ignored it. It disappeared because we fixed it. And that is exactly why we stopped talking about it. Success doesn't trend. Fear does. Outrage does. Doom scrolling does. Quiet repair doesn't. Now compare that with the climate change. We know more today than we ever did about ozone. We had better science, better data, better technology, and yet we feel more helpless. Why? Because climate change feels too big, too political, too slow, too inconvenient. Ozone demanded sacrifice, but didn't demand lifestyle change. Climate change does. That's the uncomfortable truth. Fixing ozone didn't ask us to change how we live. Fixing the climate does. The real lesson of the ozone story is not scientific, it's psychological. Humans can act decisively when a threat feels immediate, shared, and unavoidable. The Montreal Protocol worked because the problem was framed as everyone's losses if we don't act. No country could escape UV radiation. No economy could hide under the sun. Today's problems are framed differently. They feel delayed, distributed, someone else's responsibility, and that framing is costing us our time. When I look back at that slogan now, save ozone, let life go on, I realize something ironic. Life didn't just go on, life improved. Skin cancer risk reduced, ecosystems stabilized, a global disaster was quietly avoided, and most of us forgot it ever happened. Maybe that is the price of success. When prevention works, it looks like nothing happened at all. We need stories like ozone today, not to feel comfortable, but to remember that collective action is not fantasy. It has happened before on a planetary scale, across the political systems, across the economic rivalries. If humanity could unite to protect an invisible layer in the sky, then the question is not whether solutions exist today. The question is whether we still believe change is possible. Maybe the most dangerous thing right now is not climate change itself, but the belief that nothing can be fixed. The ozone layer quietly proved that belief is wrong. And if this story made you pause, reflect, or see today's problems a little differently, stay around, subscribe.